the recording. So we'll wait just a second because there's 6 people who haven't jumped into a room yet. See if anyone else is going to join us. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I can. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a wrap. I'm feeling a little cold. Hold on.
That's the theme of these last couple of days is everybody being chilly.
Yep, definitely.
Oh no. Did you just get the message saying that all breakout rooms are closing in 50 seconds?
I think that means that you can't move, maybe.
I hope.
Oh,
or
yay.
we'll all jump into it again.
Right, exactly. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad for this opportunity.
Lynn, are you going to be at the thing tonight?
I am
Good.
gonna be there.
Good.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get kicked out, so hopefully we're okay.
It might show up a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is I am going to again let's see. I'm going to again open all the rooms. Annie, you wanted to go where?
Laura.
Okay.
Hopefully we are back. That won't let me do my slideshow. Sorry, guys, just bear with me a second. I think what happened is that I'm no longer a co-host. So I can't record. Will you guys wait just a second?
How are you, Barbara? Good?
I'm good, Lynn. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in Connecticut too?
I am. I'm in Wethersfield.
Okay, yeah, I'm down in Killingworth and it's cold.
I know. I know. I know. I live in an old house and it the heat doesn't stay too well, you know.
We haven't turned ours on yet, so.
I've had to, like, here and there, you know, just kind of give it a shot of heat, but yeah, I don't know. Our bodies have to acclimate, I guess, you know, and then it's better.
Mhm.
Yeah. Most of the time, if I'm home, I hang around in this really 22-year-old bathrobe that has amazingly looks like 2 years old. It's one of those things I got at G Fox like 22 years ago, and I still wear it. Most comfortable thing, but it doesn't look so good on Zoom, you know? Ah, well, it's okay. Are y'all set, Lori? I thought there was more people that were coming to this, but
No,
just us three.
yeah, and that's fine. I just, and we'll start anyway, but I know Davia wanted to have it recorded. And I'm not a co-host to be able to record right now. And I also can't
It
give,
says it's recording.
is it?
It says up in my top of my screen that it's recording. So I don't.
Huh, okay. Well, we will try it. The other thing is, I apologize, I can't give you just the slideshow version. It looks like it won't accept it. So you'll have to see my notes. Apologize on that. But anyway, so thank you for choosing this session. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that geographical soulmate, and I know Lynn, you've heard a little bit about this, is a concept that I have coined initially based on my own experience over the last few years. And as I've been talking to more people about this concept, I'm really learning more that people do have a special location or locations that really light them up, that really, when they are in that location, they're able to show up as their highest vibrational energy, and everything that happens for them and people who they're connected with are just so different because they're in that location. So as we think about starting, the conversation today, is there a location or locations for you? Like, what comes to mind? And I know, Lynn, you've talked about Sanibel in the past and, other places. But, what would you consider some of those locations for yourself?
Definitely when I go to the coast of Maine, like in the mountains where the mountains meet the sea, like
Yeah.
my favorite places, because not only can I hike, but when we get views of the water, it's like that twofold feeling,
Mhm.
because it's like the best of both worlds when you can have both mountains and ocean that meet together.
Yes.
It's a spiritual connection or just I don't know how to describe that feeling.
Yes.
It
And
just,
yeah. And that, what we'll talk about today and kind of explore is, the more I thought about that feeling that you're talking about, that I've also had too, that I can't describe, I've tied it to this childlike wonder feeling and started to kind of put some words to it. So it'll be interesting to see what you think too. But trying to describe a concept that you can't describe is a little difficult. But everybody seems to have had these kind of experiences. And the geography is just, kind of different for each person. So Lynn, for you, that combination of the water and the mountains together. Yeah.
definitely.
Barb, what about you?
Well, interesting, as you were talking about, Lynn, one place that's like a power place for me is if I'm like high on a hill overlooking a valley, but the height, and then I can see everything. That's always been but this summer I really connected with my all-time happy place where everything makes sense and it's just perfect, is sitting at the end of a dock in a chair on a lake.
Oh,
That's where I like that. That's feels like that's where I belong.
and
That's
what is it? Can you describe the feeling?
peaceful
Yeah.
and connected, and
Yes.
I shift into out of my mind into just the physical sensations of the wind and the birds and the sun and the sounds and it also, I grew up in Minnesota where there's this land of 10,000 lakes. So this is a part of my childhood as well, but it's like open-ended time with nothing to do but just be and enjoy. That's my all-time happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what if, and I've asked this question many times, what if the soulmate, if you think about it, that we're seeking is not really a human, but is that geography? It is that location or locations that really just light us up. And thinking about it as, you know, as entrepreneurs, we know that our physical health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health are so critical to our lives and to our success as an entrepreneur. And my thinking is there is this other component, and that is geographical health.
You know what I'm wondering though is, like, so my happy place is very peaceful and it's calm, but another place might be better for me if I'm trying to be active and build a business. And,
Mhm.
you know, that's like not the same energy as the, you know,
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting too. It might be a different place,
it
actually.
may be a different place. Absolutely.
But it may not be it may not be. Just
Oh,
maybe that
yeah.
shift in mindset. And I think for me, it more relates to that physiology of connection to earth
Yes.
and how it really does fuel you and improve your health and your gut connection. So everything is actually kind of coming up through your feet and healing your gut, which
Yeah.
and then just everything is in a better state of mind, but you're seeing it through your eyes too. So there's that connection, whether it's the spiritual view of what your ideal reality is,
Mhm.
possibly too, but I find that you can shift what you need to be thinking about when you are in that ideal place.
Yeah.
Could very well be, yeah.
I feel that I can, because when I'm there, I can work, be at peace. I can be more productive at the activities I need to do because I'm more.
Grounded. Yeah. Yeah. And I think there is something, Lynn, in my experience too, is that the groundedness.
Mhm.
And I mean, we as entrepreneurs, we talk about being grounded, but to me, it's that deeper actually connection to the physical land in
Mhm.
wherever that location is.
Right.
So Barbara, you know, when you were saying sitting on a dock, it's your feet are actually, I mean, you're there, you're in the middle with surrounded by water. It's that kind of a connection. And it's also thinking about, so if you were able to be in that kind of location all the time, what would become available to you?
I feel like I'd be filled up all the time and then could go out and, you know, be the beacon. Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't always trying to be like, that's interesting. I didn't realize most of the time I'm trying to like settle myself and I don't know, you know, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah.
I know.
Trying to stay in that sweet spot of, you know,
Yes.
Find the serenity, right? Or
Yeah. It's kind of that being the foundation, right?
that, but I think you've also made a point that sometimes we then soulmate. So if that place seasonally works for you, but doesn't in other seasons, then you have an ideal in another season that would serve the similar purpose. And
Yeah.
whether that's curled up by the fireplace or whether that's in tropical location or whatever, I really think that that's our overall, it has all of the senses working together to create our feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That concept just thrills me. I love it.
Well, and what happens, and this is where I kind of want to bring in this childlike wonder, and I love this picture. This picture was shared with me by a coaching mentor of mine. And, what I find is that when I'm talking to my coaching clients and prospects, and I bring up this idea of, this geographical soulmate, our almost immediate, and most of them are women, our almost immediate reaction is kind of not only defensiveness, but kind of all of these reasons of why we can't go there, why we couldn't possibly think about living there. And it's our typical things, right? It's not the right time. The finances maybe aren't right, or I'm taking care of family, could be children, could be spouse, could be aging parents, but almost our initial immediate is the reasons why not. And so what I also think is really helpful is, since COVID, so many of us, whether, we're entrepreneurs or working within an organization, so many more of us can actually do our work from wherever. So rather than thinking of more the reasons why not, it's kind of like, can we think of the reasons why now? Because I think now's the better time than any to be looking at, we're looking at our physical health, our spiritual health, our mental health. Why not, our geographical health? So this whole additional concept of what does childlike wonder look like, for our life and our business, and can we use that lens to kind of look at this journey? So I'm really curious, when you hear childlike wonder, what does it mean to you? What does it look like for you?
Well, you had mentioned when you were introducing this as it's a playfulness. It's a, and I think as women, we should, maybe I shouldn't generalize, but I think that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We do tend to, as moms or as wives or as, however we're out in society, it doesn't have to be a gender role, but we often put ourselves as this responsible one. We're the, and that's not that I can't be silly, but
Yeah.
I tend to forget to infuse that humor in every day and have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that right there is, why can't that be? There's no reason why it can't. In most of our entrepreneurial positions,
Yeah.
I think our customers and coworkers alike would really enjoy humor in that playfulness. Infused more of it in there rather than the seriousness and the I tend to mother people, and I try to infuse humor in it. That's one of my affirmations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a thing that basically was like, what are the qualities that I admire in others? And I would like to be more of that person. So, and I know that's a very much of a generalization. It's not everybody, but I do tend to think that we do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Barbara, for you, what comes to mind when you hear that childlike wonder?
Well, definitely humor. Getting out of our heads and just like shifting our awareness from our to-do list and, the news and blah, 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 into, for me, it's like into my body, into sensations. And then if I can just let go of all those thoughts, then I'm, it's like, oh, wow, this is really cool, or whatever it is. But I'm like Lynn, I think in that, well, I shouldn't say I'm like you. I forget humor. Like I don't try to, if something's funny, I laugh, obviously, but I could use like having that as a, maybe I can infuse more of that in my day to lighten up, because I can get very serious and, focused on what I'm doing as well. That would be kind of a nice thing.
Yeah, being more heart-centered, right? Like
Yeah,
centered, really like feel, going with more how we feel than staying
How
in
we
our
feel.
head. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you, Barbara. Yeah, yeah.
well, and think about children. I mean, I just love this picture. So it's playfulness, it's no judgment, it's not being concerned about fear of failure, it's acceptance. The biggest word that always comes to me when it kind of hits me is awe. It's like the only thing that I can think of, like Lynn, when you're standing there and you're looking at the mountains and the water at the same time. For me, it's, the desert and the mountains at the same time. And just that true connection to whatever is happening. So being so present at the moment, that's what we're focused on. The exploration, the laughter. I mean, think if we brought all of that into how we do our business every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is
Pretty
all about
great.
that energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is stopping us?
I think you said it already. You said fear of judgment, acceptance. We that fear of success, even sometimes,
Yeah.
fear of judgment on that.
Yeah.
Because as entrepreneurs, I know that I get that, as I had mentioned, the 5 friends, and how those can cycle. We can cycle through different ones who are on the top, 5 list at any point in our lives.
Yeah.
We get accepted based on our actions and what we do and what we say. And
Yeah.
we can, that fear does hold us back sometimes, but I feel like I'm more ready than ever to just not care about that, because knowing that there's always going to be 5 people or more there, I'm not going to have to worry about who they are, right?
Yeah.
Lynn, I'm not familiar with this 5 people. Can you fill me in a
Oh,
little bit?
so in my last breakout, Gina had just brought to your attention that there's always going to be a core group of like maybe the 5 people who are closest to you. Your 5 core people that you spend the most time with, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's likely going to change as you grow and excel and as you succeed. But it doesn't mean the other people in your life are going to go away. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's that train analogy that people hop on your train and hop off your train, and maybe they change cars or whatever. But the idea is that you don't really need to worry about it, right? You just know, like knowing that, hey, you're going to have a new friend. Get excited about the fact that they're going to be a good friend and an advocate for you for the next stage in your success.
Yeah.
Way to look at it, right?
I was even thinking about these concepts related to, the last 2 days when we got on initially to start our day or to start the summit with the networking, and just think about the positive energy and the laughter and the energy that was happening. That's what this is all about. It's, that type of connection. So not only the physical geography or the location, but like who's there, to connect with as well. Do we have the right people for, as you're talking about, Lynn, the right time in our life?
And I think when there's something missing.
Yes.
Then you kind of go, and you seek it out through whether it's through your network or through your family or through, whatever, means you need to fill that void that you have.
Yeah. Well, and I love this picture because it's the whole idea in just a little caption that's on the picture, the idea that small children learning how to ski, think about how they do that. they don't care. They're not judging. They try, they fall, they get up, they laugh, they do something else. As adults, if we're learning how to ski, we're worried about everybody watching, watching us, and probably more worried about what we look like and what we have on, and, versus we're learning a new skill and we're just going to go out there and try it. So it's bringing this whole mindset of, if we are going to be the beacon and we know what's important and we know what our skills and talents are, just looking at it and approaching it as more of a child, and just that curiosity.
So Lori, I have a question for you. You said that you moved to Arizona. Where were you before?
Yeah, I was in Maryland.
And have you found that since you've moved to Arizona that your life has opened up and blossomed and you're able to live with child life wonder more? I mean, are you finding that the location for you is really
It is.
giving you what you want?
It's amazing how different my life is. And I think it also starts internally as well, to be able to listen and then allow. I mean, I was really being called to Arizona for 15 years, and I kept having all of the excuses. Every time I'd come to visit, I didn't want to leave, and I knew there was something there, but I would always say, I can't because of my job. I can't because of my family. I can't. And I would always have that. But each time it would get stronger and stronger and stronger. And finally, when I listened, really to the calling that I felt like I was having, and that was, last year during COVID, I just made all kinds of major decisions to get there because I couldn't not listen anymore.
I have a question for you on that too.
Yeah.
So, I do love that part of Maine, but I only like it really in the summertime because the winter is too raw and cold. Now, obviously, well, I'm married and my husband would really love to get land there, and we've been talking about it. So realistically,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with being a couple,
Mm-hmm.
Now we're kind of in the process where he's like, well, now you need to find your place.
Yeah, you need to find your place, right?
We can split our time so that
Yeah.
2 places. I
think that makes a lot of sense, Lynn.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm like settling, right?
No, I really don't think so.
Well, because I fought it for a while and then I was like, but I really do love it up there in that season, right?
Right. Yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Because,
to me, the settling would be that if you would say, because your spouse loves it so much, that you're just going to be there all the time.
Yeah. No.
If you're not really feeling that, to me, that would be more settling. But you're saying no. And he's saying, hey, where is your spot? And we're going to make this a true partnership. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some of the other things that I think are important for us is we're kind of allowing ourselves to feel, what is the calling and what do we want to do about it? It's being in nature, wherever nature is for us. And sometimes if we don't know the exact spot or spots, it's experimenting with it, but getting out and allowing ourselves to feel that true connection, to slow down, to get away from the hectic pace, maybe to even, remove ourselves from social media or things, for short periods of time, so that we can kind of take that pause. It's also, like you had said too, Lynn, it's using all of our senses. So allowing, when we're out there, what are we seeing? What are we feeling? What are we smelling? Like, what else is around? And also, like, if you think about a child, they make a game out of everything. So what is the game, that we can actually play? that's exciting. You know.
I have a couple of great nephews. One is 3 and one is 1. And their favorite thing to do is just like be on the ground looking for rocks and looking for this. I mean, it's just like so cool to watch them.
Yeah.
I've been so far away from like, oh, this is a cool rock, but just everything is new. Everything is
Yeah.
just so new and fresh. And it's always such a great reminder to just watch them.
Well, and what would it be like to just go out there and do the same thing?
I would think I'd do it for like maybe 5 minutes and then I'd probably be like, yeah, right, I know that. I don't think I'd do it too long, but
yeah. I think in those geographies that really we're connected to, I think we can always find something new to learn about them, even if we go back, annually, or like you're thinking, Lynn, half of your year is spent.
Right. Well, in the whole context of that, it was just our 25th wedding anniversary, and
congrats.
where do you want to travel to? And it was like, we kept thinking, somewhere in Europe, and I said, I don't know that it's really a good time to do that. And I've been drawn to, like, I've never spent time in the Northwest, like Oregon area. And I know there's a great wine area there in the valley. And I know that there's this treehouse maker that has made these amazing trees. So I'm like, let's go out there. We're going to stay in a treehouse and we're going to go on the wine tour. We're going to explore there because I've never spent time there. And I just, let's explore, because I don't know where my other place is, and we'll see, right? Because who knows?
Yeah. I mean, think about that. Oh my God, spending time as an adult in a treehouse.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Well, and these tree houses are amazing that this gentleman has made in this, Nelson's tree houses or whatever. And
oh my gosh,
just like, well, we watched this series on how they create these dream homes in tree houses. I was like, well, why wouldn't we just go stay in one, right?
no.
That's cool. Was that on Netflix or anything? The series?
I think it was, but it's also on demand. I think it's called Treehouse Nation, I think.
And that sounds amazing.
And he's most of them in the northwest, but he's gone all over the country and the world creating these tree houses, and it's not like camping.
Right. It's like glamming, right?
Totally not me. No, elevated power, everything. So
cool.
So the other thing is thinking about bringing this, childlike wisdom or wonder to our business, thinking about, is there an area of your business currently that if you brought that sense, would it support expansion or growth or movement? And I just wanted to share with you, this is one of my huskies, and just look at this picture though. I mean, here's a husky. And when I took this, it was hot. It was like 90 some degrees this day. And so here they are, in the desert, and he was just fine. And he was curious, and he was just looking and taking it all in. And it's like, it's that lens.
I love the flowers on top of the cactus.
Yeah.
So cute. Gotta put my glasses on to see that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It almost looks like it's a blow-up cactus.
It's actually metal.
It's metal.
Yeah.
The sculpture.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sculpture.
Oh, it's because it looks, yeah. Huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But the mountains, I don't know if you can see this little piece right here, all back here. It's just all mountains.
What part of Arizona are you in?
It's in Goodyear. It's about 30 minutes southwest of Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love the Southwest. I spent a couple of summers at seminars in around Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And then I've driven the whole thing from like Flagstaff down to Sedona and a
Yeah.
couple times done all that, but never been to Goodyear
Yeah.
or that area.
So think about this childlike wonder approach or lens for your business? Is there anything currently that would benefit your business if you approached it in that manner?
I definitely think, yeah, I mean, and I like to try to do that sometimes at my wine tastings for that,
Mhm.
just create, you know, little quizzes with the people to engage them because they get chatting and to draw them back, kind of like a classroom. It's like, so what do you think this means? Or what's your favorite, you know, whatever. So I'm almost treating them like children, really, to engage them in chatting about the wine that they're tasting.
Mhm.
So that may not quite match what that is, but I could take it a few steps further and really do, you know, incorporate some games in the process or whatever.
Yeah. It's the experience that you're creating for them, Lynn, to still learn and to still engage, but it's
Mhm.
different than just having a conversation.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So we only have a minute left. I will send you this poem because it is so amazing. But it's all really thinking about if we're shrinking somewhere in our business or if we're staying small, we really shouldn't, because the world needs what we have. And our behavior and our being that beacon then helps every single person that we come in contact with.
That's
But it's
beautiful.
called Powerful Beyond Measure. It's an
Hmm.
amazing poem, but I'll send it to you both because I think we're going to get kicked out.
Okay, well,
But
nice
thank you,
chatting with
Barbara
you
and
guys,
Lynn.
ladies.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it was fabulous. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I don't know if you can see this even, but I'll definitely send it to you.
Yeah, no, it's just a little small.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it. It would be great.
Oh, there we go.
Ah,
Oh, Marianne Williamson. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's our light, not our darkness, that scares us.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? And that's just so bizarre
Yes.
in a way. Oh my goodness.
we have more time.
Yeah, there.
This leave breakout room. I don't know.
Just
41
playing
seconds.
small
There
does
we go.
not serve the world. That's my sentence I love.
Yeah.
And it's true though. And it's a great reminder. I love the is that a picture that you incorporated into it?
Yes, that's in my community. That was a sunset. Mhm.
Yeah, Marianne has some great quotes. She's one of
She does.
really does.
I think I'll print that out and I'll put that around just to
Yeah.
remind me of that more often, for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
2 seconds.
Oh, there we go. Where did she go?
I don't know.
I think we're gonna be sent,
Yeah, I think we're going to get kicked out.
and that's okay. Thank you, Lori, for
Oh, you're welcome. I look
Great.
forward to seeing you tonight.
yes, it's gonna be awesome. In person. Yay!
I know.
So good.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not getting kicked out. No, how do we go back? I wonder.
We go right here.
I want to get a couple of quick shares from folks. Was there anything that stood out for you so significantly that you really feel like you got to share it with everybody else? I took an opportunity to pop my head in to a couple of the rooms. I got a chance to hear a tiny bit of Gina. I had an opportunity to actually watch Laura for a minute during her movement. I don't know if you saw me peeking in at you, Laura, but I did. And then I ended up settling in with Debbie's group because I don't know, Spirit suggested that that's where I needed to be. I have I just have so much I feel in common with Debbie. And even though we kind of move in the same circles, but we kind of move in a parallel path, so we don't often meet. But she was talking about how water is sort of her touch point. And I was like, oh my God, same. And she was talking about how, when she was little, she would say things that the grown-ups around her would be like, yeah, you don't want to say things like that. That's going to make people think that you're superstar weird. And I was like, oh my God, Debbie, I feel you because I am you. It's really, really interesting that I ended up exactly in the room that I needed to be in. How about you guys? Can somebody share with me who was in Gina's room? What was your main takeaway from Gina? Don't all hop on at once. Go ahead and unmute, Michelle. I can hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
So I only literally popped in for the last minute, and she like, boom, right there, gave me something to think about, which was a mentorship program for young women in high schools, to learn about choosing construction as a path of their career. And I mentioned that I had just had spoken with two young college women last night and this morning, and they too said to me, I have no idea what to do once I get on a job site. And so we were kind of chatting about this social entrepreneurialism and how can I do that, and a mentorship program would be a great fit for that. So thank you, Gina, and I look forward to chatting with her again. Thank you.
So before you mute yourself again, Michelle, I would love for you to just share with the group who you are and what it is that you do. And then I think all of what you just said will have a little bit more perspective for everybody.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Devia. So I'm Michelle Lemoy. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Elevate Women in Construction. I have created a community for women in the industry to belong, to show up, to be seen and heard, to network, gain valuable resources, support, and training, so that they can move from surviving in their careers to thriving and show up as the best version of themselves.
That is awesome. And so the reason I really want you to explain that to everybody is because I identify with you so much. You are a woman in a very, let's say, male-dominated field. Would that be correct in saying?
Absolutely.
And so being able to be in Gina's work group today was, I think, the best place for you, because the next generation, once in a while, I have the opportunity to talk to the young women out there. And I swear to you, it's the thing that warms my heart the most. It really, really is. And your ability to be able to set up a program so that next generation women in construction can have a place to go. Because I'm sure there are women out there right now. We have one of our Ladies Power Lunch members. Her daughter is actually in a welding program in her high school, right? And she loves it. That's her beacon.
Yeah.
She adores it, but she doesn't have any community of women who are in that industry. So can you imagine Michelle, guys, being out there, being that beacon for these young women who are coming next? Come on, guys, she needs a flag.
You're all the best. Thank you.
I love that. Love that, love that, love
Yeah.
that. You were in the right place at the right time. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I want to invite us to give us a little bit of feedback from somebody who was in Lori's room, please. I want to know what was going on in there, because I could kind of hear through the door, because she's like 2 doors down from me right now. I could kind of hear through the door laughing, and I'm like, oh, I'm having a little bit of FOMO right now. I don't know what's happening over there. Should I go in that room and check it out? What's happening? Can somebody who was in Lori's room just unmute and start speaking? Go, Lynn.
Sure, I'll go. Lori was talking about, of course, the your geographical soulmate, and we really had a great discussion around how that connects to all of your senses. And what I loved what Lori said most was really allow yourself to feel the nature calling you from that location, and really allow your childlike wonder to come out into your business, because that can truly inspire others to be drawn to your business. And I think that's something we forget sometimes. We're afraid to let that childlike wonder come out because we're these women and we're trying to be serious. And like let that wonder come out. Be a little silly, be a little childlike in your business, and don't suppress it. Let it shine out. So that really stood out in our session. And
Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. I was there too. And yeah, the childlike wonder, bringing it into your business for sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Barb, for sharing that as well. I think that we're all way too serious. For those of you who are very close to me, you know, I'm always trying to make a corny joke about something, or I'm always trying to see how can we have a little bit more fun. I feel like, I don't know, somebody flipped a switch at some point and suddenly we became grown-ups. Who is not okay with that? Type no in the chat. How about what would happen if we were all having more fun in our lives? What would that feel like? Wouldn't that be amazing? And the truth of the matter is that when we are sharing that childlike wonder, when we are just having a good time at being our beacon, that's the time when we are our most attractive. I have a question for you, and I want you to answer me honestly. On the day when you are having the most fun and you're just in the flow, don't you find that people are magnetically drawn to you? You find that that's the day that the phone starts ringing. That's the day when the new customers start coming in. That's the day when you check your email and you're like, what? I remember meeting that person like 500 years ago and they're reaching out to me now. How is this happening? But you're in your flow. You're embracing that childlike wonder. Akanke, I see you. And I know you know. You're having a good time. And when you're having a good time, you are the most attractive that you have ever been. Mary Carangelo tells us, she teaches us all the time that we just need to be comfortable in the things that we are wearing, in the way that we're presenting ourselves. Feel that level of confidence, because all of it comes together to help us to be the best beacon, the best, brightest beacon that we can be. Say that 5 times fast. Somebody, anybody, or not, that's fine too. Who was in Elizabeth's room? So I peeked over at Elizabeth's room, and I have to say, Elizabeth had a lot of people in her room. So I'd love to see some hands. And, you know, you could just unmute, shout out, hey, I loved Elizabeth.
Yeah,
That
it was
works.
a great session. I enjoyed it. We first did a writing prompt to help us to get in touch with times when we went through some kind of transformation and healing, and to write around that, and to write around what we got out of that time in our lives and how we can use that in service to others. So that was like connected to our personal journey. And then we switched to talking about how we could use writing in our business, how to articulate our business, how to embed our own stories in our promotional materials so that people can really connect to us. And we also talked about how to monetize our writings, different ways to do that. So she gave us lots of great ideas. She talked a little bit about leading an anthology or leading a collaboration, and hopefully she's going to do a master class or something on that for us to enroll in. It was overall great. I was inspired by the writing prompt because I got in touch with a pattern that I have. And so I didn't get a chance to share that in the group, but thank you so much for that, Liz. It's good to become aware of patterns so that we can see how they serve us and what they're teaching us. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Akanke, for really sharing that with us. And one of the reasons why this coming from you is so poignant is because you are an expert storyteller. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blow up your spot here. I'm gonna actually get behind your beacon and shine it for you, because Akanke's background is in broadcasting and media, and Akanke for a while was our go-to person when we were supporting our Visibility Circle members for the speaking portion of the program, because Akanke is a master speaker trainer. So for Akanke to be saying that she got some really good nuggets from Elizabeth's workshop, this is very meaningful for me, because it all comes back to that idea of us being not a hierarchical organization, but we're a heterarchy. Everybody has something that they're doing amazingly well, and we're all contributing to the whole. We're all helping each other's lights to shine so much brighter. So thank you, Akanke, for sharing with us. I am wondering who was in the room with Laura. I saw quite a few of you in there, and y'all were really getting involved with a movement practice when I popped in, and I didn't want to disturb, so I popped right back out. So would somebody like to just unmute and share with us about takeaways that you had with hanging out with our dear friend Laura, all the way from the United Kingdom? Who was there?
I will.
Go Annie! Yay! Oh my gosh, it's Annie, guys.
So we were standing and moving, and what she had us do was release stress, and she had us release anything that wasn't serving us, and we just dumped it out. And then we moved our bodies, and we just did all this. I don't know, is it Qigong? Maybe somebody can correct me here, but it's an exercise that I do every morning where I take whatever's on my body and I release it, And then we got to our sexuality, which it doesn't matter, whatever age you are, we embrace that part of our bodies. And I mean, that's one part that stood out for me, if anybody knows me. But anyway, so we did that, and we just honored every part of our body. And it was just such a beautiful experience. And I never wanted it to end. We just took this ball of beautiful light that we created, and we just melted it over our bodies, and it was like liquid gold. And we just felt sensuality. I know that's what I felt, and I felt love and tremendous love of myself. And it was just a beautiful experience. That's all I can say. I don't know if anybody else wants to add to that.
Anybody else who wants to add to that, you're absolutely welcome to just pop on and share. Thank you so much, Annie. That was really, really wonderful of you to share with all of us about the experience that you had in the room with Laura. I know there were quite a few people who were in the room with me, with Debbie. Is there anybody who, that's not me, that would like to share about their experience working with Debbie's workshop? You can just unmute and...
This is Jamie. I'll share from Debbie's room. It was amazing, the whole thing, just going through. We did a breathing exercise to begin with, and just kind of went through some ways of centering ourselves with breath and journal and emotions and energy and that kind of thing. But the thing that I think the most with me was getting out of your head. And so instead of having a reaction with your head, have a response from your heart and from your gut, and I think I oftentimes just don't let myself do that. So kind of just taking a moment and centering myself and doing that, I think will really be helpful going forward.
Beautiful. That's so wonderful. So one of the things that we were able to do with this platform and Captive that we're using to host Our Ladies Power Lunch Fall Summit, hey Zeph, I see you, thank you. One of the things that we're able to do is that each of our authors, each of our presenters, each of our workshop facilitators, they had the opportunity to set up a booth and to also make an offer. And so right over there in the Encaptive site, there is an opportunity for you to take advantage of offers from maybe some of the people that you didn't get a chance to hop into their workshops, but you might want to know a little bit more about what it is they offer. Or maybe you had the opportunity to be in their workshop and you want more. There is a really great opportunity for you to just pop over into the Encaptive site and check in on all the offers that are there. Zeph, anything to say about that?
I think just a reminder to everybody that I'm going to put in the link right here, just in case, and right there, so you can see the offers. I think just to remind everybody that the site is open for a week after today, so that means October 26th at 3 p.m. that will be closed down, so you will not be able to enter or access the site. So this is the opportunity to connect, claim your offers, and also visit the expo booth. And I too am running a play to win. So go to the vendor shows live expo booth and check on the chat on how to play to win. It's a $30 gift pack. So play to win.
Awesome.
I brought my smileys again too. So,
so cute. That's awesome. Thank you, Zeph. And thanks for just being an amazing producer of our event. We really do appreciate you. What I want to remind us about also is that, yes, we were in the breakout rooms with the people that we chose to be with today. But as Zeph is reminding us, you will have the recordings for all the breakout rooms. By the end of today, it's my intention for you to have all of them up in the site, and they're going to be available for one full week past the event. And so if there was something that you were interested in, but you weren't able to have the opportunity to pop into that particular room because you haven't figured out cloning yet and being in two places at the same time is difficult for you and you're not me, then fine. Just go ahead and check out the site at a later time. Really, really great opportunity. Certainly something that we did not have access to on our last summit, and that we're really happy to be able to share with you at this time. So if you want to watch all those other videos, just give me a little bit of time this evening to pop in today's videos. And then by tomorrow, you should be able to see both the days available for you. Yep.
So Davia, the videos you sent me, everything for day one is up. Yay, Zeph worked miracles. So all your sessions for day one, they're up in the agenda. So how your breakout sessions for Spark and Bonfire, Davia, for every of the presenters, they have their own session now on the agenda. So just look for which session for Spark, which sessions for Bonfire, and the presenters' names are on that exact agenda session. So just click it and you will see the video right there. And then there's a chat for every session. Feel free to share your thoughts there. I'm sure the presenters would love to see your feedback. So the chats are functional, use it.
I feel as though we've had a great opportunity to learn a little bit about this site, but we haven't even really taken advantage of its full functionality and all the fun things that we have available to us to be able to do with this site for Summit. So it's really a great opportunity that we'll be able to have access to this Summit for one whole week after. All right, it's 2:22, and you know what that means? Does anybody know what that means? Because I don't know what that means. What does it mean? Means
Make
it's
a wish.
2:22.
Make a wish.
It's a auspicious time of day, 2:22. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna reset the room, and I don't know. I'm just gonna reset the room for a minute. So if you guys want to take take a 2-minute break, you can do that. And then come on back at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and we'll get started with our planning session, and we'll wrap up the show. 222 means 2 angels are currently present with each of us, says Debbie. Of course, because we don't just need 1 angel, we need 2. Yay! Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to reset the room, and I'll be right back. Thanks.